I've spent a lot of time around politics and fundraising in Washington over the last years at the Federal Election Commission, in private practice with the McCain campaign. And what I have seen is the power of money in Washington to change what Congress does. After elections, when members retire and they can speak more freely, I've heard them say, I've seen them quoted when they're interviewed as saying, not just the fundraising bothered me, but seeing votes change because of money, knowing that something wouldn't pass that was good. And I think when you listen to all that over time, what you come away with is the strong conviction that members of Congress need to be responsible to their constituents and to citizens at large. The way to do that is to diffuse the power of money, put money in the hands of individuals through tax rebates to finance this election system, and to cut the connection between large financial contributions and legislative action. One of the great things that happened to me is my phone rang, and it was the Colbert report asking me if I could explain what super-PACs were, how campaign finance worked, to Steven Colbert. When you watch the Colbert report, you see how things really happen. You say, this is crazy. And it is.
Let's do this thing.
All right. So this says that you are the sole director of the corporation.
I am.
And that you are now electing yourself president, secretary, and treasurer.
Sounds like a great board.
And you are authorizing the corporation to file the papers with the IRS in May 2013.
So I could get money for my C4, use that for political purposes, and nobody knows anything about it till 6 months after the election.
That's right. And even then, they won't know who your donors are.
That's my kind of campaign finance restriction.
They said disclosure was a good thing in Citizens United, and that we would have it, that we could all go on the internet and see who was paying for these ads. The reality is they were wrong. There's this whole hidden world of how the game really works. It shouldn't work that way. It should be transparent. We ought to know who's giving, but we don't. The Act changes that. The Act says that whenever anyone spends money for campaign ads in an election featuring a candidate, we, the citizens, are entitled to know where the money is coming from. If the AACA is successful, we, I think, will have a real difference in the way business is done in Washington, in how members of Congress think about their responsibilities to the American people. It will free them up to act the way they think they should act, in their own hearts, and the way their constituents want them to act.